The floods goes up to 13. Public Accounts Committee wants the government to investigate NHC project. And in sports, former chief executive of the U.S. Olympic Committee, Lloyd Ward, to invest in martial arts in the country. Good evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Khadija Zimbwe. First, the national news. The death toll of residents killed by floods in Lindi region has gone up from 10 to 13 after 3 bodies were recovered last night at Mbomkulu River. Kilwa District Commissioner Christopher Ngubiagai said rescue efforts are continuing, but they are facing challenges in reaching the victims.
Jana jioni kwenye mida ya saa 2 usiku tumeopoa miili ya watu watatu.
Yesterday we found 3 bodies, which has raised the number to 7. A lot of people have been rescued despite the fact that there is still a lot of water. However, having the boats is working in our favor, which makes it easy to access a lot of areas. The people are stuck and are in need of assistance. Food has been damaged and some people died.
Bado naiomba serikali ifanye nia kwa sababu kwanza watu hawajaisha kuokolewa.
I'm asking the government for assistance because not everyone has been brought to safety. Although a lot has been done, there is still more that needs to be done.
Mpaka sasa hivi sura hizo ambazo hapa sijaziona, lakini kwa taarifa zao wapo hai na wapo kwenye vichuguu.
The Public Accounts Parliamentary Committee wants the government to investigate all projects being implemented by the National Housing Corporation in order to find shortcomings, as many projects have unrealistic costs and lacked efficiency. This was said by the Public Accounts Committee Chairperson MP Nangenywa Kaboyoka when tabling the committee's report in Parliament in Dodoma. A report by the Local Authorities Accountants Committee was also debated in Parliament.
Mheshimiwa Naibu Spika, kamati imebaini uwepo wa miradi kadhaa ya NHIC.
The committee has discovered the existence of various NHIC projects that have stalled for a long time, which is indicative of future losses. It is clear that the implementation of such projects was done without careful consideration, which caused an increase in running costs.
Changamoto kubwa iliyopo katika utekelezaji na ubora wa kazi katika
A major challenge in the implementation of water projects, classrooms and teacher housing don't finish on time and is performed below standard. It is also clear that procurement procedures are violated by some municipality councils.
Kwa taratibu za manunuzi katika baadhi.
Thousands of residents from Msangano and Chitete wards in Momba District, Songo region have abandoned their homes after they were engulfed by floods caused by heavy rains, which also killed livestock and destroyed crops. The disaster committee has visited the flood-affected areas, where Songo Region Commissioner Brigadier General Nicodemus Mwangela announced that no casualties have been reported.
This has affected us so much, we've been forced to leave our homes and seek refuge in high-raised areas. We're asking the government for assistance. Food has been damaged, but we managed to save some. We're grateful that no one has died. No one should cross over unless it is absolutely necessary, and the government buildings will be used for shelter as needed.
Hili litaendelea, basi tutatumia majengo ya serikali kwenda kujihifadhi kwa wale ambao watakuwa wamepatwa na matatizo.
The Secretary General of Opposition Chadema Party, John Mnyika, has called on President Dr. John Magufuli to submit in Parliament an emergency document for creation of an independent electoral commission which will ensure elections are free and fair. Speaking in Konani program streamed live on ITV's YouTube channel, Mnyika also urged international observers and Tanzanians to demand for an independent election commission for the benefit of the nation.
Wadau mbalimbali wa demokrasia, vyombo vya habari, asasi za kiraia, taasisi za
various democracy stakeholders, the media, NGOs, spiritual organs, and the international community must not believe the president's statement that he will speak to the embassy and that the election will be free and fair. How can this be the case when the Electoral Commission is not independent? We ask every citizen to demand for an amendment to the Constitution and the law, and that there is an independent commission.
Bunge wake popote pale kwamba tunataka bunge hili kabla ya miswada mingine yoyote uingie bungeni muswada wa marekebisho ya katiba na sheria wa kuwa na tume huru ya uchaguzi.
9 people, including 7 businessmen, have appeared in Kisutu Resident Magistrate Court to face more than 20 offences, including that of money laundering. The accused are alleged to have between January 1st, 2016 to December 31st, 2019, in different areas of Dar es Salaam City, been found with fake receipts on taxes they had paid for alcoholic beverages, which had fake TRA electronic stamps. The accused are also alleged to have been found in possession of 63 rollers of electronic TRA stickers worth 80 million shillings. The government has announced to start screening for the coronavirus all travelers from border areas and Mwalimu Nyerere International Airport and Kilimanjaro International Airport, as well as ports, in order to prevent the virus from entering the country. The announcement was made in Dodoma during a press conference by the Minister of Health, Community Development, Gender, the Elderly and Children, Umi Mwalimu.
In case there is a patient suspected to be infected with the virus, then he must be kept in isolation and not mixed with other patients. Then our team from the National Laboratory will collect samples for testing, and once confirmed, then the patient will be transferred to the center. This applies to both private and public hospitals.
Akishathibitishwa ndipo tutampeleka katika kituo.
President Dr. John Magufuli has visited ailing former Prime Minister Dr. Salim Ahmed Salim, who is undergoing treatment in Dar es Salaam after returning from the UK, where he had been receiving medical treatment. President Magufuli has called on Tanzanians to pray for Dr. Salim's quick recovery. And that is the end of national news. International news follows shortly. And in international news, with the death toll of people who have died from the coronavirus in China on the rise, Kenya's High Commissioner in the country, Sarah Seremo, has dismissed concerns that Kenyans in China are at risk of getting infected with virus. This has come at a time when a Kenyan student returning from China was yesterday quarantined at Kenyatta National Hospital due to coronavirus-like symptoms, and Kenya Airways announcing that it will not cancel direct flights to China.
In connection students wetu wakiwa huko tunawapatia
in connection with our students who are here in China, all we are doing is give them comfort so that they know that efforts are being done. My call to Kenyans is to remain calm,
tuwaombee tena zaidi na tutakuwa tukiwapatia updates.
President of Uganda, Yoweri Museveni, has told judges in the country that he will increase their salaries so as not to be tempted into corruption malpractices. President Museveni said that financial greed has slowed down proceedings of corruption cases and that he expects to see changes once he makes salary improvements.
This increment you're talking about is just endozo. We are going to continue. But more importantly, even when they retire, my view was that they should retire with their either full salary or at least 80%, the pension side, or at least 80%. And that's what I'm also going to insist on. I've discussed this with His Lordship Katurebe. This is the idea to get our people out of temptation. We don't want a former judge to be hanging around lawyers in town to give him some part-time job when he has retired from the bench. This is the meaning. A judge should be like a former president. When Museveni retires, you will never hear Museveni working.
Presidential, parliamentary and councillorship candidates will start to submit their nomination forms for the general election at the Independent Electoral Commission on February 25th this year. The Commission has said that all candidates are required to submit documents which include information stating whether they have any legal action against them.
You can run a test to political parties in Burundi, especially in villages, so that they can get documents they need. To me, it is a bit tricky. All documents that have been spoken about have been approved by the laws. If possible, let us abide to laws. In that matter, it will be easy for people to abide to election laws too.
January 31st will mark the official departure of the UK from the European Union. Beyond midnight Central European Time on Friday, the UK will enter a transition period during which it will seek to agree on the terms of its post-Brexit relationship with the European Union. To discuss this, we have our correspondent from Deutsche Welle, Emmanuel Shays. Emmanuel, what is the agenda regarding the transition negotiations?
Well, this week took place the final European Union meeting for the United Kingdom after 45 years of membership. And the UK is now due to leave the European Union on Friday at midnight Central European Time. That's nearly 4 years since the referendum. And in a few hours, the European Parliament will ratify the withdrawal agreement in a historic and symbolic vote. It will see the British members of the European Parliament leave Brussels, and then a transition time will begin, during which the negotiation process will start. Now, both parties are under time pressure, with British Prime Minister Boris Johnson saying that he will not extend the transition period past December 31st, 2020. But until then, the UK will stay in the single market and customs unions. And beyond that, both the European Union and the UK will have the rest of the year to decide what kind of relationship they want to establish with one another.
Now, what kind of agreement is hoped for both sides, as both are under pressure to achieve a deadline by December 31st, 2020?
Yes, both parties are under a sharp deadline. Both parties will seek to get the best trade deal possible. Prime Minister Boris Johnson is expected to give a speech next week to explain what is the British negotiating position. One bone of contention will be the access to fishing waters, for example. On the European Union side, Brussels has some red lines. The European Union wants guarantees that there will be fair conditions both for European Union citizens and for European Union businesses once the EU will be out, and only then would the EU agree to a trade deal. Now, the European Union does not have a zero tariff or a zero quota or any traditional free trade agreement with any other country in the world, and the European Union's chief Brexit negotiator, Michel Barnier, said and already warned that the European Union would never compromise on the integrity of its single market.
Now, how prepared are German companies for Brexit?
Well, there's a transition period opening now this year, and the Director General of the Federation of German Industries, Joachim Lang, warned already that the uncertainty surrounding the withdrawal of the UK may be over, but there is still no reason to be relieved, because without an extension of the transition period, there's only a basic agreement that is possible, and a hard Brexit by the end of the year, at the end of the year, is not completely off the table, simply because 10-11 months of negotiation are too short to agree on a complete free trade agreement. Now, now German industry is looking forward to see the start of the negotiations. For German companies, the most important would be that they are not penalized by any tariffs or quotas, and this for them should be part of a basic agreement, and this should be reached by the end of this year. Now, they expect that the European Union protects the continental business if the UK plans to undermine the standards achievement that they managed to agree upon together over 45 years. But now, if the UK seeks unfair competition against the European Union, then German businesses also expect the European Union to step in.
All right, thank you so much, Emmanuel. Let us just remain observing how this transition period will be like. That is the end of international news. Business news follows shortly.
Watch Business Edition as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
We believe that the driver is the customer.
To change the mindset of traditional HR to the digitalization.
Make sure that everybody can get some access to financial services.
And once we understand the vision of our leaders, we then need to be behind them and help them in achieving that vision.
Business have involved mercantile operations, trade guilds, or shared agricultural production, infrastructure, construction, financial sectors, tourism, and mining. Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
Welcome back, and in business news. Use of modern technology at custom centers along the borders of Namanga, Tarakea and Holili has addressed concerns from entrepreneurs of drugs and medical facilities who previously complained of spending long hours at the inspection centers.
We have succeeded in reducing the amount of time in releasing permits. Right now, permits are released on time. When someone consumes or uses toxic products, must first report to a health center where they will be able to take care of their particular problems.
Tanzania Cultural Research Institute TARI has assured grape farmers in various parts of Dodoma that many of their crops have rotted due to heavy rainfall and not disease, as has been reported.
This behavior is common, but grapes do not rot as much as how they did this year, and this is caused by heavy rains that poured. That is why many grapes have rotten in farms. In short, I could say that this has been contributed by issues of climate change. We do believe that when the normal weather resumes, then things will go back to normal. I am calling on farmers in the country to effectively use the research center at Makutupora so that they could be introduced to different new technologies specifically for grapes farming, from cultivation to harvesting. Apart from technologies, the center is also producing good quality seeds of grapes.
Serengeti Breweries SBL has launched a program to fund training which will benefit 30 farmers in the country so as to empower them with knowledge and skills on how to increase agricultural productivity.
The farmers that we work with by providing them with seed, field technical services, and by linking them to financial institutions where they can get credit to expand their facilities. We envisage to increase our local raw material sourcing from 70% to 85% of our total raw material usage by the end of 2020, in line with our company's growth projections. In order to realize this, though, in order for us to do this, though, it's important that we support the government in building the capacity of our farmers through training of experts in agricultural field of study. What we're doing today here this morning is part of our Kilimo Viwanda Scholarship Program, an initiative in which we shall provide scholarships to a number of students from farming communities annually to study agriculture-related courses. We have allocated over 120 million Tanzania shillings for this project for this year alone. Our scholarship program is tailored to benefit students from underprivileged backgrounds who cannot otherwise afford to pay for their studies. We believe that this program will go a long way in strengthening the existing pool of agriculture experts in our country, which is necessary in helping farmers increase productivity and ultimately in enabling them increase their income as well.
Ambayo imekuja kwangu kama ni mwanga wa kunitoa kwenye giza kinene ambapo nilikuwa nimezama.
This project brought light in my life because I will now be able to pursue my agriculture course. I would also like to send my gratitude to my lecturers who informed me about this project, as well as Serengeti Breweries for the scholarship. I believe that whatever that I will learn someday will be a great advantage to farmers and Serengeti Breweries.
Ambao walinikumbuka sana ilipokuja fursa hii kwa sababu mimi sikuijua.
And that is the end of business news. Sports news follows shortly.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading them up, going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's being dragged through the second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading them over, going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's being dragged through the second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Position, Joaquinho, he did lose to Lent.
Welcome back, and in business news. After being knocked out of the FA Cup competition, Ruvu Shooting from Coast Region has said that it is now focusing on the Premier League and has warned Lipuli and Yanga to be ready to face the team.
Tarehe moja dhidi ya Lipuli. Papasa Squared inakwenda kuonekana kwa sana.
The game that will be played on 1st of February against Lipuli FC, it is a game that is going to restore hope to Ruvu Shooting team as well as its fans, because after being disqualified at the FA Cup, probably people have lost hope to the team. We are sure of getting 3 points from the game.
Kumbe ni timu ambayo iko vizuri.
Former Chief Executive of the U.S. Olympic Committee, Lloyd Ward, plans to open a martial arts sports center in the country. Lloyd Ward says the center will teach such games as karate, kung fu, and tai chi.
We will offer
is to bring some of the best martial artists in the world to Tanzania. We will give exhibitions and show all the different ways from combat to play to weapons, swords, bow staff. We have 10 weapons that we use in Tai Chi. And so we will show the broad capability of martial arts as a offensive and a defensive fighting and self-protection. We will teach self-defense for anyone that wants to understand it. Self-defense is a sense of calmness that in any situation you face, you can always do your best.
Aston Villa manager Dean Smith says he would be a very proud man if he could lead his boyhood club to Carabao Cup glory after Trezeguet's injury time goal against Leicester City sent them to Wembley. The semi-final second leg at Villa Park had entered 4 minutes of stoppage time and penalties were looming when substitute Ahmed El Mohammed sent over a superb cross for Trezeguet to drill a far post finish across Leicester keeper Kasper Schmeichel. Villa will now face either Manchester City or Manchester United in the final. This was the first game to also feature Tanzania's Mbwana Samata after he joined the club from Genk of Belgium. Top seed Rafael Nadal was denied a place in the Australian Open semi-finals as Austria's Dominic Thiem rattled the Spaniard with a powerful display to win a 4-set thriller. Fifth seed Thiem won 7-6, 7-3, 7-6, 7-4, 4-6, 7-8, 8-6. It will be a first semi-final in Melbourne for both men, and the winner will face either Serbia's defending champion Novak Djokovic or Swiss third seed Roger Federer on Sunday's final. And that sports item ends our news bulletin for tonight. My name is Khadija Zimbwe. Thank you for watching and good night.
You can watch Capital News live on our social media accounts, YouTube Capital TV and Facebook Capital Television Tanzania from Monday to Friday at 9:30 p.m. Don't forget to subscribe and put notification on.
Kuwa wa kwanza kupata habari za kila aina kupitia chaneli yetu ya YouTube ITV Tanzania. Cha kufanya, ingia YouTube, halafu tafuta chaneli yetu ITV Tanzania. Usisahau kubonyeza subscribe ili uweze kuunganishwa nasi kwa taarifa zetu zote. Kumbuka pia kuruhusu notification ili ujulishwe kila wakati tunapoweka taarifa mpya. ITV Tanzania, njia pekee ya kuhakikisha hupitwi na habari yoyote.
Diamonds are forever, they won't leave in the night. I've no fear that they